can. Now back to Waldo. There he is. Just wanted to make a quick video. So I thought, tea light holder. That'd be easy, right? Take some wood, take a Forstner bit, drill a hole in it, drop a tea light in, and done. Very simple. No glue, very little tools. Be simple, right? I was wrong. Let's see what happened. So my issue started when I didn't have a drill press. So everything I kind of looked at online, getting my inspiration, was take a 4x4, 3x3, something, cut it at different lengths, put a hole in the end grain at the end, and you have yourself a tea light holder. That's too simple. What it didn't realize, or wasn't thinking about, was the end grain. So end grain is the hardest part of the wood. If I were to take the Forstner bit and drill in this, it is not going to go anywhere, at least with a hand drill, and I'm using a hand drill. You may have better luck with different types of bits. Obviously a regular drill bit would go through it, but a Forstner bit is not designed for that, or it's going to take a lot more torque. You're going to take a chance of damaging it or wallering it out. Easiest way to think of this is taking some straws. So as you can see, these straws are representing the straight grain of a hardwood, but this could even be softwoods, but they all have grains. So each one of these straws are the grains of the wood. If I were to take a bit and drill in this way, it's working way harder to tear out the tops of those grains. Now, if I turn it on the side and cut this way, it's cutting one fiber at a time. It's much, much easier. You can also think about this as when you think about food and steak and cutting meat. You always want the grain running this way and you chop this way, so it's much easier to eat and chew. Cut against the grain. Cut against the grain. Hope that makes sense. Now with the lessons of wood grain over, I'll show you how I worked around it. Okay, so we need to quickly find the center. Make sure you're, again, not doing the end grain. We want edge grain. So just line the two corners up. Draw a mark. And in the X is where we want to put the bit. Right here. So we'll go ahead and make that hole. You want to make it about as deep, you can go as deep as you want. If you're using, there's a million different tea lights and sizes. So you may want to have an idea of what you want first. Battery powered, candle power. All right, so after you have found your center, either on if you're lucky to have a drill press, probably make this a whole lot easier. If not, Forstner bit with a hand drill, but you're wanting to put that dead center. And as far as depth, it is all up to you. I've seen many examples where people are just making an indentation. I've seen people, you wouldn't want it to be, especially if you're using a candle, below, but make at least I would say 1/4 of an inch. But if you wanted to go down to a half, or if you're positive you would never put a If you're gonna only use the battery powered ones, that's not gonna be really matter, but if it is gonna be a flame wood, you get it. All right, so let's make this hole real quick. So you can see even on edge grade, it's still a task to do it. One thing that I probably will start doing next time is make my hole before I do it, just to give me a little bit better leverage to hold the piece. You wouldn't want it to spin. I could probably do this with a clamp, but so I'm gonna drill this down just a little bit more, just so it fits whichever size I want, just to keep it from easily switching to the side. So I continue drilling. Okay, so if we're happy with our hole, the depth, we can now move on to cutting the side. So the only thing that we really need to think about here, if you take a matchbox, what I have been doing, you want to just kind of draw it out, and I think the easiest for what I found to do is just put it there, but you want to make sure you're not too high so that you're going to drill into the hole. I mean, if you want to center it, I think it looks good. I put it kind of low is where I like it, just to give it a little bit more character. And then, I mean, you could definitely just use a ruler here, but it don't have to be perfect. So I want to put me some lines, and then I'll probably just kind of clean this up, just to make it look a little better when I get ready to cut it out. Okay, so you can see that's what we need to cut out. Now we can do this a couple different ways. With it being small, I don't want to put this on a table saw, but if you were kind of planning it before you made your final cut, you could easily cut that on table saw. Think of it kind of like a dado, but I have access to the bandsaw, so I'm going to cut this out with a bandsaw, make a couple relief cuts, and then clean this out as needed. So let's move to the bandsaw. So I need help come up with a name for my bandsaw. I think every good tool needs a good name, and just don't know what to come up with. Any thoughts on what I should name my bandsaw? Please put it down below. But let's cut this out. So after you've kind of cleaned it out, you will have to kind of get in there and clean it out. Just take a chisel, kind of move this around, and you can keep going. I'm just gonna do it kind of quick and get it all cleaned out. Just kind of move your chisel around, get it cleaned out. And if you had a sharp chisel, you could just go down and clear it out very easily. But let me clear this out and we'll get finished. All right, so after we got the cut made, now it's time for sanding. But I do want to show you, because I'm not going to bore you with the sanding portion of this, but I want to show you what you're kind of after. So if you are taking the match approach, matches would go right in there, T-light right on top. Always have access. I don't use a ton of poplar, but I wanted a hardwood and I didn't feel like driving out really far to get some hardwoods, so I just went to the big box store and bought this. But good grief, that looks fantastic. So yeah, other than price, I like it. I'm liking it. But for the finish, just get it on there. Very liberal, especially with the Danish oil. You can actually even pour it in there, especially in the hard to reach spots. And just try to wipe it off. No such thing as too heavy of a coat with the Danish oil. Just get it in, let it soak in. You're gonna wipe it off. It may take a couple coats to get it good and even. Down in here is gonna be fun, but I'll keep working on that. But I'm gonna put at least 2 or 3 coats, 15, 20 minutes in between coats, wipe it off, reapply, wipe it off, reapply. How beautiful is that? I can't get over it. Really like what it does to the end grain. It really darkens it. Looks nice. Hey, thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this. Maybe you knew about wood grain. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you just need a little quick refresher. Or just sometimes we just gotta remember what we're doing. But hope you enjoyed it. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. It helps grow the channel. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Have a good one.